Hi everyone. I know it's been a while. I hope all your mothers, your grandmothers, aunts, sisters, any other woman figure in your life that you look to as a mom, a happy Mother's Day. So I hope they had a great day and I hope you were wonderful to them on Sunday. Um, when we left off with Fish in a Tree, we were on chapter 6, and it was when Allie and her brother had gone to a pawn shop to buy some coins, and her brother bought a coin that had the year 1933. He bought himself one, and he bought her one, and the significance was that their grandpa, who used to do this with them, he was born in 1933. All right, so we're on chapter 7, and it says, "No grandpa's here." I sit on my bed, holding my holding my copy of Alice in Wonderland. The shaky writing in the front of the book says, "For Allie, my wondrous girl, love Grandpa." The colors of the book are all bright, even though the book is old. Inside, the pages are soft, and writing is bigger than in books now. But I still can't read it by myself. It's like having a gift that's locked in a glass box. I'm feeling heavy, but I always do on Sunday nights. The thought of another week of school does that. It's like knowing I have to pull a tire through a keyhole the next day. But I'll have a new teacher, Mr. Daniels. He sounds like a grandfatherly type with pockets full of lollipops, which could be nice. I'm hoping that he'll spend a lot of time straightening his bow tie and telling us about the good old days and not giving us much work. But when I show up, I find that Mr. Daniel's no grandfather. He's younger than Mrs. Hall. He wears a dark jacket and tie with colored circles on it. When I get closer, I realize that they're planets. Most of the kids are gathered around him. I throw my stuff in the closet and walk over. He says, "My very excellent mother just served us nachos," and claims it's an easy way to memorize the planets in order from the sun. Albert, whose hair reminds me of a bird's nest, stands nearby. I feel bad for Pluto. I look over and my eyes are pulled to the bruises on his arms. Pluto was a planet all those years. Pluto was a planet all those years, and someone just decided that it wasn't one anymore. Too small, too far away. Orbit not just right. "I don't really think Pluto cares, Albert," I mumble. He sits in his chair and says, "Well, I do. I feel bad for him and want him to ask me about the marks. I'm sorry. Feel bad for him and I want to ask him about the marks. He is big and clunky, but not fat. The kind of size where others would usually leave him alone." I pull up my chair and I sit down. "Okay," I tell myself. "I'm going to do better. I'm going to work harder. That's all I need to do. I'm going to really concentrate this time, even though I know that I've tried and it doesn't work. Reading for me is like when I drop something and my fingers scramble to catch it, and just when I think that I've got it, I don't. If trying to read helped, I'd be a genius." Mr. Daniels is in front of me. I hold my breath and lean back. He holds out his hand. "Hi, I'm Mr. Daniels. Nice to meet you," he says. Shay leans toward Jessica. I guess he doesn't know who he's talking to. As usual, most of her friends laugh. "Hey," Mr. Daniels says, turning to her. "That isn't cool. We don't do that in here," which wipes the smile off Shay's face. Then he turns back to me. "What's your name?" "Allie Nicholson," I answer so softly that even I can barely hear myself. "Well, are you going to shake my hand, Allie Nickerson?" he asks. "I don't bite on Mondays." Great, just what I need, a funny guy for a teacher. I take his hand, but only for a second. My mind is already spinning off, wondering what terrible things Mrs. Silver has told him. The plans they've made for me. I see myself wrapped in rope and lying on train tracks, just like in Grandpa's old black and white silent movies. "Okay, fantasticos. Take your seats," he calls. "Time to set the world on fire." Everyone scrambles to their seats, but I'm still lying on the imaginary train track, all tied up and watching the engine come around the corner. Okay, I wonder what she means by that. that has some symbolism in it, especially with how she feels and with her disability. And she says, I'm still lying on the imaginary train tracks, all tied up and watching the engine come around the corner. Has a lot of symbolism. I also find it very interesting how he right away stands up for her and, shoots Shay and Jessica down for the how that they were treating her and the snide remark they made. So I think that's kind of cool, that helps with her confidence. Maybe somebody will be on her side now. All right, I'll read chapter 8 tomorrow. Take care.